here tonight, and the meeting will start at 6:30 at a regularly scheduled time, but we are fortunate enough to be able to swear in our two board members, Mr. Owens, who will be new to the board, and we're excited to have him, and then, of course, re-swear in Mrs. Cotray for her 80th term, but no one's counting. So with that, I will hand it over to Judge Riggs to do the swearing in, and afterwards, we will allow for pictures and whatever the families would desire. So thank you for being here.
That's not a good start if you took your chair.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm going to take you out as I'm sorry.
After you.
Take out the board members one at a time, right?
Do you have anybody you want standing with you?
If you guys want to come, great.
Sure, come on up, come on up. Have them stand right here. And swear or affirm for one or the other?
I don't care.
Okay, we'll do swear. Come on up here. Now, if you'll come right here, stand right here, turn this way, it's okay if I touch you, all right? So you're gonna raise your right hand, and then you just put your hand over here, okay? And if you gotta get in the picture if you're not here, so.
Try to not.
All right, please repeat after me. I, Ben Owens,
I, Ben Owens,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United
the
States
Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution and laws
and the Constitution and laws
of the state of Arizona,
of the state of Arizona,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same,
to the same,
and defend them
and defend them
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
and that I will faithfully
and that I will faithfully
and impartially
and impartially
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office of
of the office of
Governing Board Member
Governing Board Member
for the Maricopa Unified School District Number 20,
for the Maricopa Unified School District Number 20,
according to the best of my abilities,
according to the best of my abilities.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Is this your dad? And you helped him win the election and run for office? Yeah, it's really, it's hard work. Congratulations to all of you. Never mind, put it back on. You didn't see the shirt he's wearing? No, I'm kidding.
Yes, I did.
All right, it's going to be the other way though. Right hand up, left hand there. There you go.
There you go.
I, Patty Coutray,
I, Patty Coutray,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution and laws
and the Constitution and laws
of the state of Arizona,
of the state of Arizona,
and that I will bear true faith
and that I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and defend them
and defend them
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
and that I will faithfully
and that I will faithfully
and impartially
and impartially
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office of
Governing Board Member
for the Maricopa Unified School District Number 20,
for the Maricopa Unified School District Number 20,
according to the best of my abilities,
according to the best of my abilities,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, and time for pictures. You have any other pictures you want to take?
Pictures.
Show like pictures.
I don't care.
You
be in it? Or you want us in it? Yes. We can get that shit.
People in the back cannot see it, so.
Come on, Dad, represent humor. Thank you with a good talk.
offer additional AP courses that way? I mean, until we can, it's tlopeman@musd20.
black sweaters that had like the three colors.
Those were
Standard.
cute,
I
too.
could, those you can wear forever.
Yeah,
But they will
exactly.
last.
Right.
And they will.
Usually.
They'll last a few seasons.
Right, right, yeah.
You have enough of a rotation.
Well, right, exactly. You don't wear it as much. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know. Good evening. Thank you all for coming tonight. We're going to get ready to start here, but I just want to remind everyone that if you would like to speak at the call to the public, and we would love to hear from you, you have to get a blue card from the front desk and then hand it to Lisa, and then we'll be happy to call you up for the call to the public portion of the meeting. So. Yeah, go ahead and start it. Okay, it is 6:31 p.m. on January 9th, 2019, and we will call this meeting to order. Lisa, will you please do the roll call? Present.
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 Thank you. And we will move on to item C, and I will ask Vice Mayor Henry Wade to please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor, and thank you for being here. We will now move on to item 1D, adoption of the agenda. Board, do we have any motions?
Motion to approve as written.
Second.
A motion in 2 seconds. Lisa, will you please call for the vote? Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
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 By your vote of 5-0, we have adopted the agenda. We'll now move on to call to the public. And my first card is Mr. Roger Wagner. Please come forward. State your name and address for the record. Might want to pick up the microphone so the people in TV land can hear you.
I got you. Hi, I'm Roger Wagner. I'm a Maricopa resident, 37902 West Merced Street. Speaking on behalf of Red for Ed and Maricopa and MUSD, we've fairly frequently been contacting our state representatives and senators since they were elected in November, asking them to come see the schools in Maricopa since they were elected and we knew, who was going to be where. And we have not heard any responses. And with the upcoming legislative session, I think next Monday, right? It's a little concerning. And so on behalf of, all of the people in Red for Ed and Maricopa, we'd like to ask the superintendent and the governing board to consider reaching out to our representatives and senators. I know we have in the past, but it's especially displeasing given Representative Fincham's current status with education and frequently been contacting him. So on behalf of Red for Ed, Maricopa, we'd like you guys to maybe make a consideration to contact. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Elijah Quinto Furland. Did I say that right? Introduce yourselves and your address, and then make sure you pick up the microphone so we can hear you.
My name is Elijah Quinto. I am a Maricopa resident at 45438 West Gilder Avenue.
Hi, my name is Jolyn Furland. I live at, I can't remember my address.
You could say in Maricopa.
Maricopa. There you go.
And tonight we'd like to talk about Maricopa High School's Winter Guard program.
I am the co-captain of the Maricopa High School Winter Guard Gems, and what we do is we do dance. We're learning that now. We are learning proper techniques and to perform well.
Our Winter Guard places an emphasis on learning performance technique and confidence in body language during our performances. We mainly practice to perform a stunning performance, and we get rated at different performances. Our first show is January 26th, and that is an evaluation show. And then here in Maricopa, we are having a show on March 22nd, and on March 26th, we are having a championship show. So, I mean, if you guys would like to come and support. Our show, every season, we have themes. And so this year's theme is Day of the Dead. And we like to place emphasis on Day of the Dead because we want to remember the people in the past who we love. And we want to remember the path that they've paved for us. And so in our show, we are going to have an altar like traditional Day of the Dead theme. And we are going to have marigolds to represent the trail that we travel on to go cross the dead and come meet our people that we have loved. We're going to have frames so that we can pass through. And in our show, we have a cool little trick. We're going to be putting flower petals inside of our flags, and then there's going to be a cool little surprise at the end. And lastly, we would like to thank the governing board for the siphon you guys have received, or we've received, for our new coach, Eliana. She has not only taught us how to perform as a color guard, but she's also taught us how to work together as a team functionally and efficiently. I just want to say thank you so much, and we are so excited for Winter Guard and see what she has to offer us there.
Great, thank you. Thank you for being here, and we look forward to your performances. Okay. All right, we will now move on to our superintendent's report. Dr. Lopman.
Thank you, President Noor. Maricopa Unified School District is launching a new electronic flyer communication tool called Peach Jar. That'll come out at the end of the month. Peach Jar is a cloud-based communication platform that streamlines school-to-home communication by distributing vital school updates and community resources directly to parents as digital flyers. This green alternative will save our schools tons of paper and reduce copy costs by thousands of dollars. On top of that, posting school flyers in this electronic backpack removes a significant administrative burden from teachers and office staff and volunteers. This program comes at zero cost to the district, and we still approve every flyer to ensure it meets the guidelines for distribution. It even comes with a free template library for schools to use to create their own flyers to promote school events. So those of us who are teachers now and were teachers before, think about how much time this would have saved us. I mean, right, I know. So you get it. Yeah, so look forward to Peach Jar. I know I am. Our second item, our student population continues to grow at Maricopa High School, really throughout Maricopa Unified School District. And as a result, we have outgrown the high school's capacity. We are currently exploring options to accommodate the increased enrollment for the 2019-2020 school year. We have some of the best and brightest putting their heads together to come up with the plan to ensure we accommodate every teacher and every student to the best of our ability. Safety is a top priority in our district, and I wanted to take a moment to announce a new safety feature that we're implementing. You can now use Safe Schools alert system to notify our administrative teams of any safety concerns you may have about any of our school campuses. We encourage students, parents, and employees to use the system to play an active role in school safety by reporting incidents of vandalism, bullying, suspicious activity, and any other concerning behavior you feel may need to be addressed. Safe Schools Alert allows you to report in 5 convenient ways: by the app, phone, text, email, or website. Please use our district code, that's 1679, and you'll have to come up with your own personal way to remember that. 1679 in your report to ensure it's routed to our administrative teams. We are proud to add another resource for our families to help promote school safety. Of course, we still encourage and welcome all other types of communication between you and our team to make certain that we're addressing any concerns that you have as they arise. And we thank each of our board members specifically for helping us to ensure our schools remain safe and positive learning environments. Okay, so I feel like I need a drum roll for this next one. On January 14th, Maricopa Unified School District is launching a brand new website. The new site is remarkably user-friendly and features an updated, clean look and feel. A special thanks goes to our technology integration specialist, Mrs. Christine Dickinson, who single-handedly made the impossible come to life. When we asked our host, and you know, a host is that's the website people, right, not the person at the front door. When we asked our host if we could launch in January, they kind of laughed. And they told us March would be much more realistic. Well, Christine would not accept that answer and spent countless hours migrating content from every page to ensure we hit our goal of January 2019. So, Christine, thank you for your hard work on this project. She's going to take us for a spin through our new website.
I am. So first off, I want to say thank you to the governing board and Dr. Lopman for making this happen. I think all of Cabinet knows how frustrated I was with the old website, and Blackboard really made all of our dreams come true with this. I might need to call tech support.
What happened? They're back behind that.
There we go.
Okay.
All right. I also need to say thank you to Miss Michelle Terry. Michelle has been a wonderful resource for me over the last month. Our team in the back, our technology department was a great support as well. And of course, all of our administrators at our sites for getting me all of the content that I needed. But I will not downplay the amount of stress of the last month. So, as I try to remember my password. Good thing we have self-service reset if necessary. All right, so I am going to, in a couple minutes here, just glance through everything for the viewers at home, the staff here as well, so that everybody can start to kind of get acclimated with the layout. I will be putting together a short tutorial for staff, and I'll put that on YouTube so that staff can reference over the next couple days just to start to navigate. The homepage is very clean. This is a slideshow. It is very hard to find high quality pictures that are this large. So if staff or principals are looking for updated pictures, just make sure that they're in high quality for me when you submit those to Michelle or myself. Over at the top here, we have our drop down for our different schools and our translate button and search. This is beautiful, by the way. When we drop down search, there is no question about where to put in your search term. So I love it. Our staff will sign in here. That's in the coming months when staff starts to put together their bio pages. So they will sign in here to do that. And our community, as well as all of our staff, can register to be part of the website so they can receive updates. The bar along the top here has drop downs. Our academics, has a directory page as well as our services and departments, just because there are so many different items. But you can always come back home, and that will bring you back to your district homepage. Obviously, we're highlighting our preschool registration at this time. So this image does take you to our preschool homepage. And just wanted to touch on that because preschool is amazing right now. Our contact us does send an email directly to superintendent. And then our event calendar always lives over here on the right. And that's going to bring you to our district calendar of events. Not to be confused with athletics events, which is also over here on the right, with updated lunch menus, bus schedules, our social media accounts, and then, like Dr. Lotman just touched on, our Safe Schools alert. So this bar is the same, this global bar on the right hand is the same on every single one of our school sites. So athletics does drop off for our elementary sites because it's just not pertinent to an elementary athletic schedule at this time. So now that I'm rambling, let's go to a school. So we're going to drop down and we're going to start at Pima Butte. So Mr. Lazar has been amazing about the specifics of his site. So his site is completely built out, but all of our sites are uniform in the banner. We have our main contact phone number and the principal, as well as their logo, or their mascot, excuse me. And then our school sites themselves have a staff portion of the front office administration and things that are specific about their school in terms of contact, a little bit of history, the map, things like that. The school events are also highlighted in that same calendar form along the left-hand side. So this announcements here is a drop-down for things that are specific to each site and is very easy to update. And then same with those events that are specific to each school site. That lives on the left-hand side, but on the bottom, you can navigate to their school calendar as well. Always living in the bottom footer of every website is the Employee Center. Employees, you guys know how much you use those helpful links. They're now in the Employee Center. So this is something that will be, it is not currently, this will be currently, or will be updated to only be viewed by staff. Currently it is open, but we will be updating that in the coming months. So the employment webpage is highlighted here as well. But your employee links, if you're looking to update your, I don't know, a sub day, or just to get to Synergy. All right, well, now I'm at Synergy. So frazzled. Dear F11, where did you go? I need 2 hands. There we go. Okay, so back home, if we are at a school site, Maricopa Wells, for example, and you will see Mrs. Henderson highlighted on one of these pictures as well, with the wonderful volunteer work that her students did. So if you are exploring and get stuck at a school site and you need to get back to the district page, the district home button is always up in the top right-hand side. Administration does drop down to have superintendent information, as well as governing board and district policies. So our governing board pages have the board bios on the left-hand side, and then our policies and agendas. But like I said, it's a work in progress. Gladly make some updates as you guys see fit. But for staff, if you're looking at what your staff page might look like, the governing board pages are exactly what the bio pages look like. Same with your administrators. They already have these launched as well. So there is a spot for a picture, a little bit of information about themselves, and then we are asking for email addresses, not phone extensions. We'd rather keep that internal. So, any questions while I'm standing here shaking?
You're doing great. Yeah, you're doing great.
I know, I just get so nervous. When you're all together, it's just overwhelming. I love the lunch menus. We are looking at making that much more friendly, digital, but they do have the PDF links so that they're easily printed as well. questions? And you all have my email, suggestions before we launch on Monday. There'll be some updates Friday with our network solutions, redirecting some things so that over the weekend I can get everything finalized and then be live on Monday. I'll be rocking in the corner.
It's exciting.
It
Great
is.
job.
Yeah.
It was
Happy dance, happy dance.
It is a happy dance. The staff directory, I should add, that is one thing that we are actively working on cleaning up quite a bit because there's a lot of data within the staff directory of some former employees, so we just want to make sure that it's accurate before we go live on Monday. So again, I honestly could not have done it without all of the feedback, all of the information that you guys gave, everything from cabinet, everything from Michelle, everything from IT. Everybody really came together on this to make it happen in a month. So I greatly appreciate everybody. It was a whirlwind, and I hope to not do it again for a few years. Give me like 4 straight years, that'd be great. So, and again, just let me know what you want updated. We can take care of that. So thank you guys, thank you all.
These results are absolutely stunning, and I want to thank Mrs. Roden for releasing Mrs. Dickinson to focus her energies exclusively on this project. I'm sure it wasn't exclusively. I mean, she does a lot of stuff, but the payoff is impacts every single person in this school district. So the benefit is tremendous, and the website is such a critical piece of our brand, and she's really increased our brand value exponentially, and I'm really pleased with our outcome. Thanks again, Christine. We've got a couple upcoming events. Spelling Bee is on the 22nd, right here in the boardroom. That's I'm hoping you can help us watch this competition while we watch our district-wide competitors compete for the glory of the title of being the Spelling Bee winner. And then Saturday, January 26th, Maricopa Unified School District is hosting our annual job fair. We are screening candidates for both certified and support staff, and we are prepared to deliver letters of intent to secure the best and brightest for our students on that very day. So if anybody's watching, dust off your resume. We're really ready to shake your hand. And that looks like it's it for my report. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Really good information. Excited about our new programs. We will now move on to governing board member reports. And I will start with our newest governing board member, Mr. Ben Owens.
Thank you. I guess I'm just happy to be part of the board and excited for where Maricopa's going. And thank you to all of you for your support. And there's a lot of community members and Christine, Henry Wade, Vince. Thank you to those guys, my family. And so, yeah, thanks.
Great. Well, we're happy to have you, so welcome aboard. Mrs. Cotray?
Thank you, President Knorr. I am so excited to be serving another 4 years with all of these people, and excited to have Ben on the board as well. It's going to be a lot of fun, and since you signed the paperwork, now we can really tell you what's involved, because you can't pack out now. The only thing that I've been able to attend was the soccer game at the high school. My daughter made it back onto the team and on the field, and they won in overtime. It was awesome. And I know that the middle school athletics, they're starting up with their football at Maricopa Wells. I believe Coach Harris is going to be the coach over there, and Coach Nelson is going to take the Desert Winds. It's really nice that the high school coaches are coming down to the middle school level to start to groom those kids and get them involved into the high school sports. And I know that at the middle school, the girls' soccer is getting ready to to launch. So I will be at Future Cities in 2 weeks because my son's team did make it. So it's going to be on the 19th at Castile School in Gilbert. It's an all-day thing. The awards start around, I want to say around 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So we'll keep you guys posted. But Maricopa usually fares very, very well. We have some awesome students that really do a lot of work on these. And I know some of the students, my son was included, over the break was at the school working on it. So I'm excited to see what the kids can come up with this year. So thank you.
Great, thank you, and congratulations to the girls' soccer on that win. Mr. Judd.
Thank you, President Noor. I will be attending Future Cities as well with Patty. My daughters will be at that competition as well. I'll also be attending the district spelling bee on the 22nd. Again, because of one of my own children's involvement, but it is with the Future Cities competition. In addition to attending that in the state level, I wanted to thank some of the teachers that gave up their vacation time to come in and work on those boards. They did it for 3 days, and that's a pretty good chunk of someone's vacation time to give up and to come work on a student's project. So very specifically, I'd like to thank Mrs. Hall. I believe it was Mr. and Mrs. Stoltistic were there, and Mrs. Titus. Wanted to say a specific thank you to those teachers for giving up their vacation time and helping our kids. In addition to that, I'd also like to welcome Ben Owens to the board. I had worked with Ben before on the override. Ben was out there with us, pounding in signs, standing on the street, holding signs, doing everything he could do to make sure that the override happened. And I know he's very organized, he's very thorough, and we are blessed to have him with us on the board. So welcome aboard. And that's all I have, President Moore.
Great, thank you. Mrs. Anderson.
So ditto to what everyone said. Ben, I'm excited. 2019 is going to be awesome. I'm very excited to get the year going. And the only thing I really have to add to that is I will be the pronouncer for the spelling bee on the 22nd again. So I've got some studying to do in the next couple weeks. But if you ever have a chance to come see these scholars do the spelling bee, it's phenomenal. I mean, it's a sport in its own. So it's a packed house, so get here early. We try to open up both sides, but these students are amazing. They know more than I do. So it's pretty exciting the way they've come along, and we get better at it each year. But if you have a chance to be here at 6 o'clock, it's in this room, and it's going to be a great night. So it's on the 22nd, and I'm honored to be able to be the pronouncer again this year. Gives me an opportunity to learn some definitions, word of origin. So it's pretty exciting. All different kinds of pronunciations. So it's pretty exciting. Yeah. I know, I am. Yeah, synonyms, homonyms, you know. So that's all I've got. It's going to be a great year.
Yes. Thank you, and thank you for doing that, because that sounds stressful to me. And I want to welcome Ben also to the board, and Patty. Again, glad to have you back. We weren't going to let you go anyway.
I know.
So it's not like you really had a choice there.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to get the year started with our new team, and we're really fortunate to have such a great board. I was able to attend the inauguration of our statewide officers on Monday, earlier this week, which was a great opportunity to see the governor and the new Secretary of State, the new Superintendent of Public Instruction, who got sworn in on a children's book.
Yeah,
Thought that was interesting. They all gave speeches, which were great to hear. Arizona has the first Chinese-American Republican woman to hold a statewide office in the country. And when Kimberly Yee was sworn in as treasurer, it was pretty amazing to know that we are leading the way in that in diversity in Arizona. So really enjoyed that opportunity. The legislature starts on Monday, so that means things are going to get busy for me in my job, but also for the policies and impacts on the state. So look forward to continuing to update the board and the community on what we're seeing down there. And that's all I have. We will now move on to our information work study. Mrs. Krista Roden?
And I have a bit of an introduction.
Sure.
So, in Maricopa Unified School District, we want every student to dream, learn, and become. And in a practical sense, when they graduate high school, they need to be able to create, innovate, lead, and succeed. And realizing that outcome begins in preschool. I want to thank Krista Roden and the Preschool Planning Committee for taking on the important challenge to expand preschool opportunities in our district. Through much collaboration and research, the committee has developed the expansion of the preschool program in our district. Mrs. Roden, please.
All right. With that being said, good evening, President Noor, Board, Dr. Loatman. I've stood before you many times and shared with you many exciting things. But
We really
today
want the
is
TV
by
people to hear.
far the best time that I get to stand in front of you and share this information. All right, let's get started. New clicker. I'm going to read the timeline to you and give you a little bit about the history of where we're coming from. It started back in August with our strategic planning at the district level. And one of the findings from that plan was to come up with innovative programs and to create them within the district to make our mark. We began by surveying our parents. We researched, let me back up a little bit. We did some research. We looked around the community. We looked at other preschool opportunities. We did some comparison in the Kyrene district as well as Casa Grande and surrounding areas. After we did that research, we decided that we better ask our parents. Parents, do you want some preschool services for your kids? And overwhelmingly, yes, it came back. Yes, we want those services. And with that, we are going to do our next steps. We looked at our food service. Of course, we met with Suzette. We came up with a nutrition guidelines plan. That's something new that we're going to have to do. Remember, we're meeting with our committee all along. I have one of my committee members here to share with you in a little bit. In December, we started doing a little planning with the DHS licensing piece, and we looked at some rooms in the district. We had to locate some classroom space. So we did some walkthroughs with the maintenance department and our principals and our district office team to find a location that fit our needs. January, I'm here. This is it. Standing in front of you to present this information so far of where we're coming or where we've gone. In February 1st is our deadline. It's our goal and our deadline to submit the state licensure. So we will be starting our program with the state and going through the checklists and finding out where we need to make our changes. With that, we know that we need to have some remodeling that will have to happen, very minimal. Along with that, we're going to be doing some recruiting with Mr. Beckett coming up in January, because we know that we're going to have some new preschool positions that are going to have to be filled. In March, that's my favorite, curriculum and planning development. The beautiful thing about this curriculum is that it is our district adopted curriculum, so we will be able to service our children from preschool to high school on the same scope of work. So our parents will get very used to seeing what the scope looks like, what my reading looks like, what do I have to do for this component. So we're really excited about that piece as well. April, we've got lots of things happening with kindergarten roundup, kindergarten screening. So we're going to be identifying those children that are coming through our doors by screening processes or by doing our roundups. In April, again, that will continue on, constantly meeting with our committee. Again, our committee is helping us decide what goes in the classrooms, how we do that connection between the preschool that is already in existence. So it's great to have that kind of view for our team. In June, our final walkthrough, it's our goal to have our final walkthrough with the state. At that time, we would like to have an open house inviting the community and our parents and our new students to come in and view our new classrooms. And July is where it all begins. So our goal is to open 3 classrooms for the next school year. And with that, let's talk a little about what we can offer you. Maricopa is going to offer a full-day program for preschoolers ages 3 and 4 with highly certified teachers, not only with elementary certs, but with early ed endorsements. Very, very important for us. That kind of sets us ahead of the stage with everyone else, is that we have those certified teachers. We're going to look at maximum instructional hours. That's with our core curriculum and our transitions within the regular school day. Of course, our certified dedicated professionals are very important, and they're going to make this program successful. I talked about a little bit before with the curriculum. Again, that's a big piece for us. With our current adopted curriculum, it embeds all of those STEM activities, math, social, emotional development, so it's a comprehensive curriculum. So we're excited about that piece. We're going to be growing as we go, of course, making some changes as needed. Competitive pricing is one of our sales points as well. Michelle's going to talk a little bit about that later. We definitely, did I change my slide? Competitive pricing. We also will have DES to help support the parents that need extra support for financing that. Our licensed facility will be licensed through the State Department of Education or the State Department, and we'll be looking for some other possibilities to grow our program with other licenses or certifications. Beautiful thing with this as well is we are able to offer 6 p.m. care, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. with a certified program right in the middle of the day. This will be beautiful for us because we are able to provide those services on the campus for our kids. So if parents have a 6 o'clock or they have to be in work at the Valley at 7, we will be able to provide those services for them and transition them right into preschool. That's something new for us. And I'd like to share a little bit about the point of view of a teacher. And I invited Ms. Pat Wilson to join us today. She is a preschool teacher right now at Saddleback, and she's going to tell you a little bit about what her thoughts are.
Okay, also a little nervous. I came here today because I'm so passionate about preschool. I've been making my voices heard for years now, and I'm so excited that all of a sudden something is happening, and it's great things. I think we all know that the research suggests the benefits of a quality early education. According to a 2018 study at Harvard, here are some of the benefits that we can gain. Greater cognitive abilities, better impulse control, more sociability. And according to the study, by kindergarten, this is already a little bit too late to start. So the earlier we get started on these, the better. Preschool also mitigates the high cost of special education by early intervention. And it has shown that that school dropout rates drop significantly because of early intervention. Preschool parents are our earliest customers. For years now, we've talked about customer service, but we have not addressed the needs of our earliest customers. These are parents that come to us and have great experiences and then hopefully will stay. We live in a fairly new, fast-growing bedroom community here in Maricopa, and the need for additional programs is great. One of the charter schools has already jumped on board on this, and we need to get in the game immediately so that we don't lose any more students to any other school, including charter schools. We want to keep our kids at MUSD 20. We have the ability to provide a high-quality education. We can do flexible grouping. We can do integrative and continuing services so that our children start at preschool going right into kindergarten, and there can be some collaboration between the kindergarten teacher and the preschool teacher so that we can continue the great work that we've already started. It also allows us to identify additional students with special needs, especially those with behaviors that sometimes may be ending up being suspended in kindergarten because nobody has seen these children before. We have now the opportunity to see these children and to service these children so that by the time they get to kindergarten, they will be kindergarten ready. Children will learn to sit, to listen, to follow direction, to complete adult directions, to be social with each other, and provide in group activities. Parents will get the stability of knowing that their child are in a safe place. They can pursue a career in town, knowing that their child will be in a safe place. That will provide stability not just for our parents, but also for the student population. We all know that we have a population that's kind of in and out a lot. With this added stability, we are hoping that we can provide a more stable environment for our children. Also, I think having that commitment from the parents early on will continue the commitment. It shows that children who attend preschool have better attendance in elementary school than children who do not. It gives us an opportunity to reach out to these parents and say, this is important. You know, we can do this for you. We can be a partner with your child. So, thank you.
Thank you.
I told you she was passionate. I don't even think I need that anymore. So, what do we need to launch our program? We've talked about our remodeling. We've went and did the walkabouts. We've looked at the playground equipment. We've priced furniture and staffing and licensure and curriculum. There is some additional information inside your board packet that can give you some specifics on estimation of pricing. So this is just launching the program, where we are today, and what we need to do for tomorrow. The expansion of the program for the future. It is our goal to provide elementary pre-services at every elementary school. We'd like to look at Montessori. We would like to research Quality First Grant. We would like to look at NEAYC accreditation and a dual language preschool program. These are all things that we're very interested in, and we really believe that this will be a benefit to our MUSD families, our community, and our students. With that being said, I'm going to turn the microphone over to Michelle Terry, and she's going to talk to you a little bit about marketing and the preschool philosophy of marketing.
How exciting. Thank you, Mrs. Roden. Good evening, President Knorr, members of the board, Dr. Lotman. Let's talk about how we're going to get the word out. We'll use a variety of strategies to be certain that we're reaching all of our families in the community who are interested in quality preschool experiences in Maricopa. So first up is digital media. Website and social media are going to play a strong role in our marketing efforts. Our online social media, or our online community is savvy and active in social media, so be on the lookout for promotional posts and even some Facebook ads. As Dr. Lotman mentioned in her superintendent's report, Peach Jar is here to support us with full-color digital flyers sent directly to parents through email. The flyers will also be accessible on a page on our brand new website for quick, easy reference. As Christine shared earlier, preschool has its very own website and will launch with our other schools on Monday. And then traditional media. Sometimes there's just something about holding onto something in your hand that makes it feel official. Keep an eye out for promotional materials like those included in your packet tonight, as well as some coming your way in community newsletters and the new resident guide published by In Maricopa. And finally, we'll round it out with some good old word of mouth, by far the most powerful form of marketing. We'll be talking with our Parent Advisory Committee in February to help us create some positive buzz, and we'll make appearances at school and community events to ensure everyone knows about the new preschool opportunities available in the Maricopa Unified School District. And that concludes the marketing portion of the presentation, and I'd like to open it up for questions.
Okay.
Questions?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Okay. First off, I'm very happy that we are going in this direction. There are studies that prove that preschool is very beneficial. And my hope is that this will be able to morph into a Young Fives program for those kindergartners that are just on the cusp, that aren't ready for kindergarten, but then we have a Young Fives program so the parents don't have to pay the tuition. So I'm really hopeful that that's kind of the direction that we're able to take it for in the future. But a couple of questions. The one of the questions I had was the daycare wraparound at the school sites. What if they have siblings that are in older grades? They're going to be bused back to Butterfield for Copa kids.
That's a great point.
So
At this point, we are looking to change the location of Copa Kids to Santa Rosa. Therefore, we can have our younger kids be there, and we can transport the older kids from their home school to Copa Kids. So they still will be with their older siblings. The program just moved.
So you're going to have Copa kids at both of these preschool sites?
Right now, we will have Copa Kids at Santa Rosa.
Okay, so then the siblings of the other students that are at the other school that doesn't have Copa kids are going to be bused to Santa Rosa. So the parents are going to come pick up their preschooler at Saddleback and then have to go over to Santa Rosa and pick up their older sibling?
Preschool.
Santa Cruz. Oh, Santa
Preschool
Cruz.
is, 2 of them will be at Santa Rosa and 1 will be at Santa Cruz.
So but if they had an older sibling and an after school, they'd have to go to 2 schools.
If they did not go to Copa, yes.
Okay. So that's something that I think we really should kind of look into, because typically if we're going to have a preschooler and a parent's going to pay for it, they're going to have their older sibling also in after school, before and after school. So we got to make that convenient for them as well. The fee structure. I love the fact that we're trying to do this so that it's self-sustaining. However, what happens if you don't get the 14 to 17 students, what you're kind of guessing on the classroom? We've hired these teachers. Who's ponying up the money for the teachers? And do we have that in our budget?
I can kind of, in February when we start doing the open enrollment for our kids for preschool, it'll kind of give us an idea of where we're sitting for our teachers. Again, that's going to be fluid. We're going to have to watch that as we go. And if we get 50 registrations on February, we'll know that we need to plan for all 3 classrooms. If we get 14 kids, or we'll run with 1 classroom. We can break through with 1 classroom sitting at 14. So as we add students, the classrooms will be added.
Well, I'm assuming, though, if there's any shortcomings as far as tuition, that the M&O budget's going to have to pick up that difference to pay for the teachers
That are on contract.
and the supplies. And so I think that's something that needs to be incorporated when we do our budget.
And if I may, I will attest to the fact that we're conservative to make sure that the success of this program, the sustainability of this program, does not impede our ability to support the rest of our programs in the district. So that's a consideration at every single benchmark. We also are working, and Mrs. Roden can talk about this too, about the child find events that we have. I think they're monthly.
On Fridays, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, we did talk
So
about that.
that's
yeah.
an avenue
Yeah.
where we are meeting potential preschoolers and turning them away almost every month. And if they want to enroll their child in preschool and all of our spaces are filled, then they're pursuing another outfit here in the city. Now we have an immediate alternative for them.
Okay. And I only have one last question.
Sure.
I was just going to go up my, I had it right there. Oh,
I love it when that happens.
it happens. It does.
I know.
I think it's the age thing.
We're just tired. Don't blame it on our no age comments.
No.
Not that you need to put anything more on your plate, but
Go for it.
are there grants out there that would sustain the funding of this so that we'd be able to offer?
We are looking
Okay.
everywhere, yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I know that you don't need anything more on your plate.
I like grants. It's okay. It's money. Right.
Thank you so very much
You're
for
welcome.
entertaining my question.
All right. Anything else?
I think,
I
any other
have-
questions?
yeah,
Ms. Anderson has some questions.
I don't know if they're questions or comments, but As far as the Santa Cruz, the kids are in preschool in Santa Cruz, I'm sure those few students that happen to be going to aftercare Copa Kids at Santa Rosa, they could probably arrange to have those kids attend preschool at Santa Rosa. I mean,
Oh, yes.
it's like, I'm sure that,
Yes.
and they're not really that far apart. So I look forward to those great problems to have, actually.
I know.
And then the other thing, a couple of other things. I know that in 2016, and I think I gave it to you, Mrs. Roden, when I attended the Arizona Town Hall, and we spent 3 days locked into a think tank talking about the economic impact.
Yes.
So I've been excited to see
Yes.
this. I mean, we've been kind of chomping at the bit. So I just want to put out there that it is a huge economic impact when a community supports preschool from, and actually even birth to 5 years old is the hugest impact to a city's and a community's economic development. So, I'm excited to see where this takes us, not only, academically, but just getting families the support they need. And there's another program at ASU with Dr. Stam that can probably step in and help. She's got some grants available. I think I gave you
Absolutely.
Dr. Stam's information. But if anybody is interested, that report from the Arizona Town Hall is, it's this thick and it's incredible information. You can download it. But it was pretty exciting to see all the wonderful things that are going to come to us. So I'm excited for that. And then the only, I don't know if it's a criticism, but maybe I'm just looking with blinders on, but I noticed your pictures were all very homogeneous, Caucasian.
Yes.
I'd like to see the pictures, and even in the folder, I would like to see them reflect our true demographics.
Yes.
So that would be my only criticism before you launch to promote this, is that we put our
Absolutely.
true
Yes.
diversity in there.
Yes.
I know they're drafts, but that's why I'm like, I'm just throwing it out there.
Yep.
So anyway, I'm excited, as you can tell.
I knew you would be.
Patty kind of stole my questions in terms of what are we planning for contingency just in case. But there's obviously in the field of education, sometimes people will studies show this would be pretty much a cross-educational field. There are no studies pretty much, I don't think, that exist that say that preschool doesn't improve educational outcomes for children. So I want to make that very clear to folks here and people at home. If you look specifically Norway, Denmark, some of the best nations in the world in terms of education and how early they start their children. It's almost embarrassing when we take a look at our education and put it next to theirs. So it is a very necessary thing. Of course, we're going to have our questions in terms, it is our responsibility to make sure it's all fiscally sound, but we are very excited about bringing that program to MUSD, so thank you for all of your hard work.
Excellent.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Judd. I just want to echo the comments of the board and also thank the cabinet and Dr. Lotman for their work on this and really the foresight to get this program implemented. I know from experience that when I had I still have young children in Maricopa, but with my first, there was not an opportunity to have him in a preschool program with a highly qualified certified teacher. And fortunately, through word of mouth, I found an in-home one for my second and third. And the difference in the preschool experience and the difference in my first child's ability to learn to read versus my second and third children's ability to learn to read was night and day. And so I just want to stress the importance and thank you for providing this opportunity for parents and most importantly, our little children in Maricopa to have that qualified preschool experience, because it really does change their ability to perform when they get to kindergarten and first grade, and really I think especially learning to read, which is we all know is so important. So thank you. Looking forward to it and the results.
Thanks.
Okay. We have concluded our work study. We will now move on to item 6, the consent agenda.
Motion to approve?
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Lisa, will you call for the vote? Yes. Present. Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
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 By your vote of 5-0, you have approved the consent agenda. Now move on to item 7A, discussion and possible approval of the personnel schedule. Mr. Beckett.
Thank you. President Norm, members of the governing board, Dr. Loatman, you have the personnel schedule in front of you this evening, and I'm willing and ready to take any of your questions at this point.
Board, are there any questions for Mr. Beckett on the personnel schedule?
I don't have any questions, so I'd like to make a motion to approve as written.
Yeah, exactly. Mark it on the calendar.
I'll second.
We have a motion and second. Lisa, we call for the vote. Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Beckett. Item 7B, discussion and possible approval to reschedule the February 27th board meeting to February 20th.
So why are we changing this?
So there are some conflicts, and specifically with a meeting that I have to oversee, and I thought I would just put it out there for the board to potentially change it, because I don't like to miss meetings, but if you want to keep it, then that's fine with me. I'm super okay with that, but I just wanted to, I don't plan to miss meetings, I don't like to miss meetings, and so since this was so far in advance for me to be able to inform the board, I thought I would give you the option of rescheduling or keeping it in my absence. So it's totally your option.
Okay, so I appreciate your passion for hating to miss meetings. My question is, for staff, getting a meeting ready the very next week, that's, and how's that going to impact staff? And then going 3 weeks before we have our March meeting, and then we're right in spring break. So I don't like messing with the calendar just because we've got set dates. I would prefer not change it just because I've already got stuff scheduled around that, but obviously I'll support what the board wants to do, but I'd prefer keep it this set schedule. That's just it's consistent and people can depend on it, but more importantly, can we go 3 weeks to March and then
without a meeting?
And then we're into spring break, which is another 3 weeks.
When's the March meeting?
Second week of March.
It's the Wednesday right before, it's the 13th.
The 13th, right.
So, unless, instead of the 27th, I guess I could see pushing it back to the first week of March, but I would just prefer not mess with the dates.
Well, and we're also looking at the possibility of having several work study sessions on Wednesday evenings as well. So,
yes, we already have one scheduled.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, I think we're going to be meeting frequently, just not in an official capacity.
That's what I didn't tell you.
Thanks.
And that's kind of why I don't mind changing it, because we're going to be coming in.
Well, but here's the question for you, Anna Marie. Would it be, so when we start having these work study sessions, they're going to be about like capital stuff, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Because we'll talk about that later. But is it better for you to be at those and then miss a regular scheduled board meeting? I guess I just ask what your preference would be, because the capital discussions or a regular board meeting, which would be better, because we'll probably schedule one on one of those nights.
And we could keep, if we decide to keep it on the 27th, we could keep that agenda very light.
Yeah.
Like I say, I hear your passion. I appreciate the fact that you don't want to miss a meeting, but there's always going to, the thing is we're all going to have conflicts at some point, and if we start changing meetings to meet our own, calendars, it's going to set a precedence, and I'd rather not do that.
And I totally understand your concern. The only way I'm able to talk to you guys about this is by setting an agenda item.
Yep.
And so that's why I put it on the agenda, to allow for the discussion so that you would understand that I have a mandatory, they're coming in the 27th and I administer the meetings. situation on the 27th.
Yeah.
And so I want you to understand that in advance and then make the decision of moving the meeting or keeping it, which I'm fine with either option.
Well, my personal opinion is I'd rather have you at our work studies, whatever those would be, than a board meeting that we could make a very, like
A very
Mrs.
light
Anderson said, a
meeting.
very light agenda meeting.
Absolutely.
And that way the date stays consistent
'Cause
for
that's
our
also,
community. Because we're here to serve our community, and I would just hate it to start looking like we're serving.
And that's also the Rotary Student of the Month. That's always the second meeting, isn't it?
Oh, yes,
So
yes, that's a good point.
that
Yes,
might- that
and
might
that's,
send
they
them-
set on that, yeah. Or they
Mhm.
plan in
Yeah.
advance for that, absolutely, yeah. That's a really good point. So if we want to keep it on the 27th, then we do not need a motion or
We don't
any
have to do
action
anything.
on this item. So we will move on to item 7C, discussion and possible approval of proposal from Facility Management Group. Dr. Lopman, who's leading that? Okay. Are there any questions on the proposal from Facilities Management Group?
Hang on a sec.
No questions, so, I mean, for me, motion to approve.
Any discussion?
Is there any
I'll second.
discussion? Second? Have a motion and a second. Lisa, will you please call for the vote? Yes?
Yes.
Aye.
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 By your vote of 5-0, you have approved that proposal. We'll now move on to item 7D, discussion and possible approval of proposal from One Architecture. And just so the audience and those in TV land know, these are just proposals so that we can look into what we're going to do about the growth, especially in our high school.
High school.
And the enrollment that's at peak capacity over there and how we're going to bridge that gap, as Dr. Lopman said in her report, to ensure that all the teachers and students get the best experience possible. So that's what these are about. Any discussion on the One Architecture?
I do have, I just want to make sure that if this is something that we approve going forward, because we need to start moving on this, I understand that, but the number of portable classrooms, the placement of them, is that something that is still up for discussion if we approve this? Because I don't want to approve something and be locked into it because it said so on the proposal.
Actually, it was taken off of the proposal. I asked for it to be taken off, that this is only the consulting contract
No.
part.
Well, it
They're
No.
including structures.
Yes, this is including
Right, but not
structures.
location, because I asked for that to be taken off.
We removed that.
Yeah.
It is, it opens the door for them to begin their work when we have our work study next week.
Okay.
Those options, there's an array of options that will be up for consideration and analysis through a pros and cons kind of lens, and then putting that through the circumstances and resources and time that we have.
Okay, so it doesn't lock us into the specific number or
Doesn't.
specific site?
It
No.
does not lock us
Okay.
into.
That was my only
specs.
concern,
Yeah.
because I'm like,
Yeah, I had that
8
question too.
double-wide portables, okay, well, maybe that's too many, what if it's not enough?
Yeah.
I don't want to be locked into something just for this dollar.
But I had the same question, Mrs. Coutray. I was very concerned that,
Oh, yeah.
that the two things needed to be separate. So I did request that all of that be taken off. This is only the consulting, that we're
Right.
just hiring them
Just
to
starting,
consult.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
all
I
of-
think it's good, but I think, because we've known from previous getting double wides that it can be a very lengthy process, and I'm appreciative that we're doing this, and I know we're a little bit behind the 8 ball on it, but I'm also confident that our partners with the city will help us move this through as they are helping the charter schools move theirs through as swiftly. So, with that, I would like to make a motion that we approve this.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Lisa, will you please call for the vote? Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
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 By your vote of 5-0, you have approved the proposal from One Architecture. We will now We now move on to item E, which is to approve to adjourn to executive session.
So motion to approve to go into executive session to discuss statute 38-431, 03A4.
I'll second.
I have a motion and second. Lisa? Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
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 By a vote of 5-0, we have approved to adjourn to executive session. It is 7:34 p.m. We will be back to do some more voting, but you don't have to stay if you don't want to.
Do we need to take our laptops with us for this information, or do they use their laptops?
Yeah, because the,
Mine shut down. We're going to call.
Yeah, mine just shut down too.
We're going to call the attorney.
oh, we're going to call her? Okay. Okay. Oh, I know what I was going to do.
Or end up paying for one way or the other. One person is bringing theirs. Patty, you said you're bringing yours? Or do we all need to?
I'll bring mine. It is 7:49 PM.
Still doing it.
We are back in open session. And we will move on to item F, approve settlement agreement for charge number 540-2018-04032. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve as you just stated.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Lisa, will you please call for the vote?
Aye.
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 Yes.
Yes. By your vote of 5-0, you have approved the settlement agreement.
Okay.
We will now move on to item G, elect governing board president to serve from January 2019 to December 2019.
You
Are
want to
there
say
any
anything?
motions? Do I want to say anything?
You should, yeah, typically, yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Patty,
I'd just like to make a motion to elect Anna Marie Nora to continue to serve as president.
Well, just make sure she wants to still do it. I mean, no
yeah,
offense.
she will.
You should really ask her if she wants to continue.
No, she doesn't get to be asked.
Yes, thank you. I would be happy to serve another year as governing board president. I've learned a lot this year and
Yeah.
look forward to another one if the
Doing
board
good.
so chooses.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
No.
We have a motion and a second. Lisa, will you please call for the vote?
Aye.
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 Yes?
Yes. By your vote of 5-0, you have elected me for another term as governing board president. Thank you very much. I appreciate your confidence.
Yay!
And we will move on to item H, elect governing board vice president to serve from January 2019 to December 2019.
Knowing that he is accepting of the role, I would like to nominate Ben Owens to be vice president. I've worked with Ben multiple times on the override with the budget committee. I know that he is ready for the role. It's something that he's willing to step into. I know his strength for organization and feel comfortable putting his name forward for nomination for vice president.
We have a motion. We can have discussion now. I guess the
Yeah, just want to make sure, Ben, that this is something that you want to do. I mean, typically, first-year board members don't step into it and
I
say,
would
"Hey,
never,
yeah,
for the
I'm ready."
record, I would
'Cause I've been trying to
never,
talk you
I
into
would
doing it.
never have done that if not knowing in advance, which was more room shown to me on my first night at the board when I was asked to.
And you said
I
no.
know that Ben is willing to do so, and I would never nominate him knowing otherwise.
Well, I'm confident that, he'd be a great vice president. I just want to make sure that this is something that you want to take on, because if Anna Marie is
When?
not available,
Like
there's agenda
February
planning. Yeah. Well,
27th.
there would be agenda planning. You would be in communication with the superintendent. You would run the meeting. I just want to make sure that that's all what you want to, that you understand, and that's something that you want to do. Because I'm all for it. I just want to make sure that you're good with it.
I'm down for it.
All right, then I'd like to second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to elect Ben Owens as vice president of the governing board. Lisa?
Aye.
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 Yes.
Yes. Congratulations, Mr. Vice President.
Yay!
Oh,
Yay!
yes. We forgot to tell you that comes with the lovely duty of being the recorder.
Oh, okay.
So get to know that little recorder friend. Great.
Which I broke one.
Yes. Okay, well, we are now on item 8, and it is 7:54 PM, and the meeting is adjourned.
Awesome. So go ahead and hit the stop button.